What's up, family? If it's your first time checking out the show, let me know what city, what state you're coming in from. If you're outside of the U.S., let me know what country you represent. Family, I need you to smash up the likes, smash up the likes, smash up the likes. This one, family, is going to be hard. If you have not done so already, after you subscribe, there's a little bell next to your subscribe button. Go ahead and click that thing so you can get your notifications each time I drop a new video like this. That way you'll be in the loop. If you want to skip the line, you can jump into the super chat. I am going to go in on this subject and then I'll come back and I'll check the super chat first and then I'll make my way over to the regular chat. I wanted to talk about the passing of these legends because I know everybody feeling it. It's always a sense of loss when we have these type of tragedies because, you know, let's face it, we grow up listening to a lot of these people and the work that they do becomes a soundtrack to our life growing up, right? I'm in the music industry, but I'm also a big fan of music. I didn't know Andre Harrell or Little Richard personally, but I did know Betty Wright. And she was a beautiful woman, a beautiful soul, great conversation, knowledge, just the insight that she had. And you know, I know she left a lot of that behind because everybody that I talk to that know her, I mean, they got the same vibe from her. Betty Wright was just an incredible woman. So I'll start here. Back to back was a major blow. Andre died on May 8th, and then Richard died on May 9th. Both of these guys, innovators in the music industry. Little Richard was 87 years old when he passed. He was sometimes referred to as an innovator, the originator, the founder of rock and roll is what everybody know him to be more than anything. Any rock and roll group you can think of owes him a debt of gratitude. And many of them often paid homage to Little Richard. Little Richard didn't put out a lot of music in his prime. It was like from 55 to 56 to 57 was really when he put out all of his hits. But they had a lasting impact. So, you know, Little Richard is like, I mean, the Beatles, all of these guys, the Beatles, the Rolling Stones, anybody you can think of that did rock music is always taking their hat off and saluting Little Richard. The dude was flamboyant. You know, he was at odds with his sexuality most of his life. He even went as far as picking up religion. Before his death, he had actually denounced homosexuality. He really fought against that most of his life. He really was fighting his personal demons most of his life. But, you know, he did a lot for the industry. He took gospel music and R&B music and blended it. And that's how he came up with rock and roll. He is the inventor of rock and roll. And coincidentally, or should I say subsequently, he was one of the first group of people that was he was among the first group of inductees to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, an honor befitting for a trailblazer such as himself. Andre Harrell, what can you say about this dude? He died at 59. Andre is known for working with the likes of Diddy, not just working with him, but actually giving him his start. Diddy, Mary J. Blige, who else? Jodeci. I, I could go on and on, but a lot of people, he's worked with a whole lot of people. He put a lot of people on. And that's why if you go to social media, it's so many people that he put on, like just showing love and gratitude for his the work that he did and his generosity. Big, huge icon in the game. The dude was only 59 years old when he died. That's ridiculous, man. That is incredibly young. That is incredibly young. And one thing I did not know about Andre was that he was once in a rap group himself, a rap group called Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. I knew that group, but I didn't know Andre Harrell was Mr. Hyde. So very interesting. But, oh yeah, and he worked with Heavy D also. Al B. Sure, the dude put some work in for his Uptown Records label. And, another thing I didn't know was that he produced Strictly Business, the comedy. The comedy film starring Halle Berry and Tommy Davidson. He produced that. Very, very important dude in the game. And he also scouted Biggie, they're saying. So this dude, and he was a very powerful figure in the game for a long time. Even until his death, he was working over at Revolt. So, man, that's tough, real tough. So you got Little Richie go on the 8th. Well, Andre Harrell died on the 8th of a heart condition. Then Little Richard died on the 9th. And then Betty Wright died on the 10th. 8, 9, 10. And on Mother's Day. I just feel so sorry for her children. To lose your mother on Mother's Day. That's got to be a hell of a blow. A hell of a blow. So, as I mentioned when I opened up, Betty Wright, I knew her personally. I'm going to tell y'all a story. So, Betty Wright's song, Clean Up Woman, which she sung when she was 18. That song she released at 18 years old. I did not know she was 18 years old when she put that song out, because when she put that song out, that was my absolute favorite song that she did. Now, she had another huge hit, No Pain, No Gain. That catchphrase that y'all hear all the time, that's her. That's where it comes from. Thank Betty Wright for that. And people are going to say no pain, no gain for the end of time. But that's her thing. She wrote those lyrics. She was a phenomenal woman. She died at 66 years old. Again, very young. 66. Very young. She And I remember like when her son got killed, and her son got killed, I think it was on Christmas Day. I think it was Christmas Day. I know it was a holiday, and it was around Christmas. I think it was Christmas Day. And this was back in 2005, how she was able to get through that. You know, they say the loss of a child is one of the worst things that could happen to a person. It's the worst thing that could happen to a person. And I can just only imagine. But she was a strong woman, and she was one of those women that women respected and men respected. Men desired her, but they also respected her. You guess what I'm saying? And women respected her. And she could actually scold a woman and not come off as being condescending. Because her goal was to always teach. She could also scold a musician. Like, she was a true artist. If you tried to cover her music and you didn't do it right, oh man, she would tell you about it. Which leads me to my story. She's in Houston one day. I'm on the bus with her, on her tour bus. And we're talking about my song, The Cleanup Woman. This is my first time meeting her. I'm talking about her song was The Cleanup Woman, but I remixed it and called it The Cleanup Man. And well, I didn't remix it, I remade it. And I call it The Cleanup Man. So, first time I meet her, I'm on her tour bus. And she says, "Baby, I like that song. But if you needed somebody to sing, you should have called me." I felt bad. I was like, oh man, Betty don't like the song. She was like, I like it. I just, but you could have done better with the singing. And I was like, damn, I mean, that's a gold record. I mean, I guess we got through, but Betty was a pure singer. And she didn't really care if you took her song and made it out of a hit. If she didn't feel those notes were hit the right way, she gonna let you know. And she loved listening to music on the radio, but she loved real music on the radio. So if you put that music out there and it wasn't right, she didn't have no problem expressing how she felt about it. I told her that there's no such thing as an independent woman if she's in a relationship. She told me that, yes, it is a such thing as an independent woman if she's in a relationship, but she don't make her man ever feel that she's independent. In other words, she never makes her man feel that she doesn't need him. I digressed. We agreed to disagree. Because my point was like, independence means to move along, to act without consideration of what others may think. And she saw it differently, but we're saying the same thing because I believe both of our missions have always been rooted in love. We both talk about relationships in our music. We community activists, we mentor, and I think at the root of everything she did was love. And that's what made Betty Wright so endearing to millions of people all over the world. Now, some of you new boots just don't know, don't think she wasn't major because you didn't know. Now, you just got to catch up. See, the legends don't have to catch up. You're the ones who got to catch up. If you don't know your legends, that's your fault. It's not theirs. It doesn't mean that they're less relevant. Betty Wright was well respected in the music industry and beyond. From the time she came in to the time she went out, she was respected. And her legend is going to live forever, just as Little Richard, and Andre Harrell's legend will live. They put the work in, all of them. We're talking decades of work. They did it. They did it, and they influenced a lot of people. A lot of people are standing on their shoulders. These are giants in the music industry. A lot of people are standing on their shoulders, and we all owe all of them a great deal of gratitude. I learned something from all of them. I got something from all of them. I benefited from all of them. To bring you guys this broadcast so badly. I was trying to do it yesterday, and I was having problems with Zoom. Zoom changed their software with their update button that allows me to go live on the interface. And they did that. They took away that button without warning. At least I didn't get the warning. And so I couldn't get any help on the phone or whatever, so I had to postpone it. But I tell you something, that was divine intervention. Lucille Kendrick, hello Willie D from California. What's up, Cali? California love, that's what I'm talking about. Earl Williams, Little Richards was out before Elvis. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Little Richard was the man. I mean, you can't take anything from that dude. Like, and it's sad that Little Richard lived most of his life feeling unappreciated. I mean, think about it. You create a whole damn genre of music, and people don't appreciate it, especially like rock, something like rock and roll that has been so beneficial to so many people, that has made billions, hundreds of billions of dollars over the years. Think about that. And you don't get your flowers. He got some of them, don't get me wrong, but Little Richard should have died a billionaire. He created the genre. He should have died a billionaire, and there should be statues. There should be statues of Little Richard, you know, and wherever people respect icons such as himself. Anybody that's any music legend that's got a statue somewhere, they need to go in there and put one of Little Richard right on the side of him, make it bigger. The dude created a whole genre of music, and he got looked over. Oftentimes, he got looked over, and sometimes I hear people say, "Well, he was bitter." What the hell you mean he was bitter? You got a right to be bitter. It's like, it trips me out. You know how sometimes you see guys get out of prison and they're exonerated. They were accused of a crime they didn't commit, and then they were exonerated. And after doing 25, 30 years, somebody wants to ask, well, are you bitter? And the trip part about it is that most of them will say, well, I'm not bitter. I love everybody. I'm not mad about it. I'm like, man, are you crazy? He has a right to be bitter. Little Richard was the man. Miss Michi checking in. What's up, Miss Michi? Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there. Happy Mother's Day. And if you don't have your mother here, if your mother has transitioned, uh, just thank God for the time that you did have. If you knew her, if you had an opportunity to remember what it was like to be around her. And if you have some ill feelings towards your mother, then I can just advise you and tell you what worked for me. Do all of the complaining and yelling and make all the outbursts that you need to make. But after that, let it go, release it. And I'm telling you, you'll feel so much better. It is amazing the power of releasing that negative energy. It could actually make you a more healthy person. And you know how people say everybody thinks their pain is worse than the next person's pain. So whatever level your pain is on, release it. For those of you out there who have mothers who are still here and y'all got issues, patch it up. You only get one mother. Swallow your pride. I don't care who started it. It don't matter. Some of y'all are holding out on congratulating your mothers for Mother's Day. And I know Mother's Day is every day. I get it. But it's cool. Let's look at it as a friendly reminder. We've lost a lot of legends over the last several years. And we continue to lose them every day. So enjoy them while they're here, family. Don't take it for granted. R.I.P. Andre Harrell. R.I.P. Little Richard. R.I.P. Betty Wright. No more talk.